Hey guys, it's your girl, the Really Sorry T, and I am back. Listen, I wanted to come on right quick. I'm out, but I wanted to come on right quick. I wanted to show y'all my little gator neck thing. You see, this is good to pull up over your nose and mouth to protect you, give you some type of barrier when you're out. Don't let anyone tell you that wearing a mask or having some type of protective barrier on your face, nose, and mouth when you're out in public, like it's not going to help. Yes, it does, and it don't take uh, a rocket scientist to know that having some type of barrier is better than having not having anything on your face at all. And y'all, let me tell you, it's not uncommon to see that now. You see, if you don't see a person with a mask or some type of barrier like this, if you like these gator necks, let me tell you, I got one. I got one for each member of my household, as well as I'm trying to find those gloves. Oh, these little soft gloves. Hold on. Let me put them on. These little soft gloves. See, for when you're out in public, so you're not having to touch over stuff. You know, this does help prevent the spread of germs. Like, it really do help some. Okay, so I was just sharing with you all, and like I said, this is called a gator neck, and I get like this little, it's almost like a silky smooth protection, but it helps prevent, dust and debris and stuff like that, from getting in. Also, it's also water resistant. Now, notice I said water resistant. Okay, what are droplets? What are droplets? That's water. It's basically water that's been dispersed in the air that you cannot see. Now, I'm not saying it's 100% effective, but what I'm saying is something is better than nothing, and it do help cut down on your chances of contracting this virus. And this is the time where you want your risk of catching this virus to be as low as possible, especially in older individuals and others with chronic health diseases, and pulmonary diseases and stuff like that. Hey, this is something that you would want to wear if you're going to be going out. Okay. If you have to go out, make runs to the store, this is something that you should have on. I'm just telling you, it does not, y'all, I'm telling you, this is not rocket science. It does not take all this thinking or for someone to have to come and tap you on your shoulder and tell you, hey, having some type of barrier between you and the outside, it's going to significantly decrease your risk. I mean, it cut down your chances of getting it at least by 50% just by wearing it, even though it's not an N95 mask, okay? It does decrease your risk at least by 50%. And that's been proven over in China as well. And let us also remember, scripture says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. That's all I'm saying. And right now, this information that I'm sharing on this video is knowledge. All the information that has been coming from the CDC on transmission, on how this virus is being transmitted, this is knowledge also. Okay, so use it wisely. Gather all the information you can about this virus so you can know how to protect yourself and your family from getting it. And most importantly, stay prayed up. Make sure you put on the full armor of God. First and foremost, this is your spiritual protection against this virus. Secondly, we are to do the physical aspect of it, and that is to wear our physical armor as well, which is our mask and our gloves, okay? And this You know, it's kind of made from the same material. But do what you got to do to protect yourself. And when people look at you like you doing the most, let me tell you something. I'd rather do the most than do the least. Okay? See you next time. Bye.
Steve Osunsami is outside the CDC in Atlanta with more. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning to you, George. There is disagreement about whether wearing an ordinary average face mask protects the average person from the coronavirus. This here is an N95. This is the mask that's in high demand and short supply because health professionals need this to protect themselves while treating patients. Here at the CDC, they argue that having the average person wear an ordinary mask can be counterproductive because you're often putting the mask on and off your face and spreading disease. But there are a number of scientists who disagree. It may be one of the more simple tools used to help stop the spread of communicable diseases, the face mask. And in the fight against COVID-19, both the CDC and the World Health Organization continue to state that only healthcare workers, caregivers, and people suffering symptoms should wear them. But some leading specialists from Asia, where the disease first struck, are saying this morning that face masks may have played a role in helping them contain the coronavirus outbreak. And not hospital-grade masks, just masks made of fabric. The head of the Chinese Center for Disease Control and Prevention told Science magazine that the big mistake in the U.S. and Europe, in my opinion, is that people aren't wearing masks. Many people have asymptomatic or pre-symptomatic infections. If they are wearing face masks, it can prevent droplets that carry the virus from escaping and infecting others. Jeremy Howard, a research scientist at the University of San Francisco, wrote an op-ed in the Washington Post highlighting data from COVID-19 success stories in Asian countries such as South Korea, Hong Kong, and Taiwan, where everyone is wearing masks.
So I've analyzed 38 scientific papers that have looked at the relationship between using masks and the transmission of COVID-19 and similar kinds of viruses. And they all tell the same story, which is that wearing a mask can decrease transmission by up to 50%.
Here in the U.S. in late February, the U.S. Surgeon General shared this on Twitter, saying, seriously, people, stop buying masks. They are not effective in preventing general public from catching coronavirus. The government's advice is in stark contrast to what people are practicing in countries such as Japan and South Korea. Again, these are not N95 masks that health workers desperately need. Some health experts believe one reason U.S. officials have discouraged people from buying masks is because the N95s are in short supply.
So if you go and buy up N95 respirators, that means there's going to be some doctors and some nurses who will have to make difficult decisions. You know, they might have to reuse their N95 respirator or try something else.
And thanks to Steve for that. And earlier this morning, I asked Dr. Fauci to weigh in on this debate.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the most important use for a face mask is for a healthcare worker to protect that person from getting infected. The second most important is to put it on someone who's infected to prevent them from infecting healthcare workers and those around them. But there is some rationale that the person in the street who may not know they're infected could actually prevent the spread to other people by wearing masks. This hasn't been proven. We know the masks are not 100% effective. People might think and get under the impression that if they wear a mask, they're completely protected, and they're not. But even when you pull back and think about it, we're starting to re-examine the possibility that if there are enough masks, should everyone be wearing masks? Those who are trying to protect themselves and those who are trying to protect others because they might be infected. There was always this feeling that there's not enough masks, so you got to prioritize them to the healthcare workers and to those who are infected. But given the situation that we might have enough masks for everyone, I think there's some rationale that we should utilize them much more than we do at the present time.